Hello everyone and welcome to the world of Mr. Occhio, my first post in my video reviews. Tonight is based upon the family video going out of business and a good friend of mine, Reddy, tipping me off to it. So I'd like to show you the finds that I found tonight at Family Video, all averaging about $3 a movie. First up we have Crimson Peak. This is one I just haven't caught as of yet and was happy to get it on Blu-ray. Big Guillermo del Toro fan. He's a very imaginative director and a very director who's very true to the subject matter as well. He's a real fanboy at heart, to be honest. Loves the genre, loves the subject matter, and I think his passion always comes through in virtually all of his films. So Crimson Peak on Blu-ray, it was about $3, I think, $4. Next up, we have In the Heart of the Sea. Again, haven't seen this one yet, but I had just recently picked up a copy of the Gregory Peck Moby Dick classic film, and just the whole telling of the Melville classic story reinvented on the film piqued my interest to see this, In the Heart of the Sea. Don't know how good it will be. I'm not a big fan of the CG anything nowadays, but I guess you got to take what you can get in modern filmmaking. So we'll see how good it is, In the Heart of the Sea. This next one now is a character, famous pulp character actually, in the old pulp novels and things like that. Solomon Kane, where he doesn't have the notoriety of Conan the Barbarian and others of that ilk. Nonetheless, a character with a definitive history behind him, and I've always been a real sucker for fantasy, sword and sandal, not even sword and sandal, this one, I guess sword and fantasy, whatever you want to call it, the genre with, battles and witches and things like that. So I'm hoping this gives a nice sword and, supernatural mix to it. Haven't heard anything about it, but it was an interesting pickup, and again, the price was right. Solomon Kane. Had to pick up The Hateful Eight. Didn't have a copy of this yet. Saw the road show with some good friends, including Reddy, and again paid. I think this may have been $5, but to get a copy of it was well worth it. Enjoyed the movie, and I'm glad to own it in my collection. So I'll be looking forward to watching again The Hateful Eight. Now, this first one is, I'm a sucker for, and Rennie will tell you this, basically any Dracula movie, any Frankenstein movie, I'm all over, just because I'm always interested to see what they do with the subject matter, how they manage to bring new tales and new ways to tell basically the same Dracula story, the same Frankenstein story. So this one is Dracula the Impaler. It has some awards here on the front, which may or may not be accurate. Who knows if, their buddy was running the festival that gave the award. But nonetheless, it has a little bit of pedigree behind it. And Dracula the Impaler, I'm looking forward to watching this one. Because I'll be honest, I'm not much of a modern movie guy, but the ones that will always suck me in are the Dracula and the Frankenstein. So there's the Dracula, and boom, right on cue, here's the Frankenstein. Now, I believe this one is actually a British production, and it's billed as a gripping retelling of Mary Shelley's Gothic masterpiece. Again, it's just curiosity's sake from a writer's perspective. I'm a writer myself, and just to see, how you can breathe even something, somewhat new life into these tales that have been told so many times. It's always interesting for me to check these out. So nothing too much on the box art there, but Frankenstein, another one of my family video pickups, Frankenstein. This here is a classic movie that I didn't own in my collection. I'm a big classic movie fan. Body Heat, and of course, anytime you can get the lovely Kathleen Turner in a movie in her prime is never a bad thing. So anybody who's watched Body Heat knows that it's what it is, and I'm very much looking forward to this one again. It's interesting to note that, unlike today, where I'm sure she'd be scantily clad, she's fully clothed on the box cover. So So that's interesting to see how times have changed, whereas this is just implied right on the phone and she's standing there. Nowadays it would be a much more salacious cover. So, famous Body Heat, another pickup. This is a very interesting flick that I picked up here. I'm really interested in watching, called Metropia. Kind of a playoff on Metropolis, a British production where it's billed as someone is listening to your thoughts. Especially pertinent in today's age of, literally every thought, not so much every thought, but, everything you say, everything you do is tracked. We truly are living in a 1984 world. The Orwellian nightmare has come true, and this looks like to play even beyond that, where even, the thoughts that you're having can be monitored. Again, looks like a British production on the back, and very much looking forward to seeing this, and very interested to see if anybody has caught this flick as of yet. It is Metropia. So very happy to have that one. Next up, kind of a standard Western, a modern Western, but it's with Kiefer Sutherland and Donald Sutherland, two good Canadian boys that I'm a big Western fan, and outside of like the Hateful Eight and things like that, you really don't get too many good Westerns nowadays. I took a flyer on this for $2. Could be good, could be okay, but again, I'm just such a fan of the genre, going back to Leone and Corbucci and things like that, that I just crave a good Western every now and then, and hopefully Forsaken can be that one. This one was a had-to pickup, Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies. Like, do I have to say anything more? It's got the late Roddy Piper in it. It's got Kurt Angle and a bunch of other wrestlers out there desperate for a buck that are doing these crazy films. I'm not looking for quality on this. I'm looking for laughs, and I'm sure it will provide. Wrestlers versus Zombies. Next up, probably the ones I'm looking forward to watching most. This is called The Masked Saint, where it's billed as husband, pastor, and hero. Now, if anybody knows any of the Mexican wrestling, the most famous wrestler, the iconic El Santo, actually meant the saint. Now, I don't think this is a biography of him in any way. I think this is kind of a takeoff on that. But wrestling in Mexico is very, very different than wrestling in America. And especially El Santo took on mythic proportions. He was literally his country's Spider-Man, Superman, Hulk Hogan, everything all rolled into one, and was always the good guy as the saint. So looking forward to this, The Masked Saint. Classic pickup here, the Iger Sanction with Clint Eastwood. The photography on this movie is out of this world. You'd have to see it, you'll never forget it. If they're on the side of mountains actually doing real photography, not CGI. One of the best examples of daring filmmaking you will ever see. And if you've never seen the Iger Sanction, if you're a Clint Eastwood fan or just a 70s movie fan at all, you've got to check out the Iger Sanction. Thanks to good pal Tony Gray for the heads up on that. Couple more here. This one here, The Jinn, about a race of people that lived on the earth with humans, and somehow this one has survived, I guess, or maybe it's a bunch of them, I don't know. But it has kind of a biblical tie-in, and I am a very Christian Catholic-based viewer, and while I don't watch too many demonic movies or things like that anymore, I am interested in The Jinn purely from a storytelling point of view. And there was actually a different one, but I only got the one, so I figured one Jinn movie was good enough. So Jinn, I'm going to check this one out. As I mentioned, big religious film fan. I haven't watched The Risen yet, so I was happy to get a copy of that for cheap. And I'm going to be checking that one out. Hopefully a few of you will be checking that one out as well. Now, last but not least, there you go, and ready. There's your copy of The Boy. So it's on Blu-ray for you. And Randy couldn't get out tonight, so I took up the mantle for us and picked up a copy of The Boy. So I'll probably watch it first, and then you can just have it, buddy. So you have it there, and just because it's yours, I want to do, show you the box art. There's the DVD, there's the inside, just like you do, buddy. So Anyway, there's my pickups. I don't know how many of these I'm going to be doing, but I enjoyed doing it. And my name is Mr. Malocchio, and those are my family video pickups for